in the house.
There's one
Mommy.
conversation one time. The lady, so it was sent to us as Family Matters at the other time. So the lady said the guy she wanted to marry. She decided to go to the market with him to go and buy stuff. That she's Igbo, the guy is Yoruba. And then she doesn't understand a lot of Yoruba, but she heard the guy saying, mommy, and losoja. Oh no, losoja. Nipe dele. And then she said she overheard the mom saying that we're not ready for that Igbo food first of all, and that much that she will be at home waiting. Now the guy, first thing is that the guy lives in the same neighborhood with his mom. So maybe the mom is living in Bishop Oluwole, he's living in Sakatinubu. Like that, first of all.
God forbid.
So she said by the time they got home and she put all the things that they went to buy from the market, she put it out in the house and went to take a shower so that she could freshen up and then come back. Before she come back, mom sit down the kitchen, they wash fish, they do everything. Say mom sit come even tell her and say, this thing that we.
Mommy, this is see me.
Wait,
in my Igbo land before carrying me from there.
They're never even married. They are just dating.
They're just okay.
Said that we are not ready to start eating Igbo food yet. We'll be learning it later.
No, it's not that you will learn to. Oh my dear. Hey, Lord Jesus. Because I don't understand. The interference sometimes can clamp down on the marriage, and it's a deciding factor.
That's the extreme. So
it's a deciding factor for a lot
the lady
of people.
was asking in that conversation that should she marry this person. This guy is in fact, she picks out. She comes home to do his laundry. He has a laundry machine. He has a washing
machine, yeah.
And she comes home. The mom comes home every weekend to do his laundry, and she picks out what he will wear, inclusive of boxers.
No.
So that level of interference is.
Go and marry your mommy at this point.
You get.
At this
it's
point.
Cringe.
It's cringe.
It's giving cringe.
It's a little too much. But in a situation where maybe the woman is going through abuse from the man, emotional, physical, or psychological, of course.
Like what Dex
open your mouth
called us
and
about.
say something. Exactly. Say something. Speak to your parents about it. If it's an issue that you know that is beyond you, then that's the point where you say, okay, no, mommy and daddy. Because I know a man that says he literally washes his hands off his daughter's marriages and his son's marriages, like, except it's an extreme case, then you can come and have a conversation with me. That's what it should be. But in small things that, you have not said any Igbo food, we're going to, mommy is making the food and sending it to you on the weekend when I'm still alive with my 2 legs. Did somebody do that to her husband?
Or your siblings, or your siblings have a very, very strong place. They have to, certain ways, there's no privacy and all of that. These are some of the things.
Your sister says something against your wife before your wife, and you cannot react because leave her now, she's such a smart girl, is my sister. No,
in-laws are always
those kind of things. No,
there's this thing the Yoruba people
go and meet
say.
your husband or your wife.
Yoruba people will say that or like your in-laws are sort of a deity that you're supposed to worship. Yes, now it's not to you alone.
Okay.
As me himself, I don't hear and say my in-laws then be deity. I'm supposed to worship them, and then my wife says don't hear and say my siblings and my family then be deity. But one thing that we're trying to talk about here today is this interference. When does it become too much?
When does it become a lot?
Yeah. When does it become unbearable?
Because first of all, I think that couples that at every slight opportunity speak to their parents or their siblings or their family members about things happening with themselves is somewhat an issue. Because as someone who's married, as someone who's married to this person, and you both have a fallout or something, or you both go to bed angry, the next morning you shouldn't be calling your sister, my wife did this, my husband did this. Why are you doing that?
No, if you are in a relationship and the day you and your babe argued, and she was crying her dad beside it, immediately they call you. Now saw your phone ringing, you now saw, maybe you've not even collected the dad's number, you now saw number, you now say hello, good morning, say
that is the day that you fold yourself like to say, sorry my love, thank you so much, this relationship has been amazing, but the door.
I just saw someone one time when we first met, the babe tell me, say, are you going to do your masters? I said, why? I said, because my dad
only accept people that do masters.
No, I said your dad wants me to do masters so that he can give me job. Does your dad know my career path? She's like, well, he's quite big on this thing. That's why I did not marry a rich girl.
You're not a serious person. But these are the conversations that you need to have ahead of time.
Yeah.
These are the signs that you need to even note yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to have those conversations. You can just sit on the sidewalk.
Okay, you need to have the conversations.
No, you pay attention first. When you notice the pattern, they say, auntie, uncle, I don't understand. Every slight opportunity, you call your mommy. I don't understand. What am I doing
gifts now. She used to call her mommy everything that is happening. If gift wants to spend an extra 500 naira, she will call her mommy.
Not 500 naira, maybe 500,000.
If she wants to spend an extra, these are some of the things that we need to talk
No,
about.
of course not.
What if I don't think your mom is that person. Everything way they end up,
Then-
and I will come and spend your
Oh
money
no,
together.
these are the conversations that we would have ahead of time. And
Mhm.
of course, the person who I'm getting married to, it could be my mama's son. Because
What if he doesn't want to be your mama's son?
no, so there's just a, you know how. What
What if he just wants to have his wife and have, this is my mother-in-law. Hi, mom.
No, that's not a problem.
From afar.
But guess what? That will not happen for me.
You want him to be
An afar person.
You want him
no.
to be you want him
Because
to be
guess what?
you want your mom to be doting.
I'm in a close, no, of course not. I'm in a closely knitted family. And all the people I have dated, for some reason, they fall in love with my mom. Maybe even more than me.
Really?
You know how they say, mommy, let's go out and have ice cream. I say, sure, Shisha. You want that?
Someone wants
Buy ice cream for.
Well, okay, so that's the
So
conversation.
the love exists between her and because she just wants to bring you along and carry you along.
Which
and
is
ask
a good
questions.
one.
Which is a good one. But when it becomes she starts or he
To
starts
dictate
reporting.
that you people should wear.
Sometimes it's the reverse.
Yeah.
Where the husband is the one telling the mother,
in-laws,
in-law
yeah.
that your daughter, she did this yesterday. Oh, you're going to report me to my mommy?
Well,
That's
your
the
mommy.
interference we're talking about.
So, well, whatever it is, however you see this conversation, when do you think it's too much? And do you think there are certain issues that spouses, regardless of how maybe abusive or violence and engulfed that conversation is, that you think maybe they should still keep it away from their in-laws or from their siblings or whatever? Because today we're talking siblings and in-law interference within.
And have you been in such a
conversation.
situation? Tell us about it. We want to know what your thoughts are on it. 0705-8904-927 is the number to call.
Okay.
0705-8904-927, or you could call us on 0805-0920-927. 0805-0920-927. But before we go, let's give you the WhatsApp number so you can send a WhatsApp message to tell us what your thoughts are on this. 0705-6900-927. 0705-6900-927.
We've got beautiful music coming in from Darren Lizu. He just dropped this one. While it's Off the Growth EP that he dropped a few weeks ago. Listen, and we'll be right back.
Your mind, stimulate your senses, plug right in.
As a fan of praise and worship, imagine the rhythm of BJ Sax, Yinka Alashiyori, and Blessing Lopez. The ministration of Tope Alabi, the vibes of NK, Mike Abdul, Tosin Alao, Tony Adoki, Testimony Jaka, Akboro, Tosin B. All on one stage, and a host of other prominent ministers. Are you ready? 2024, increase and abound. Location is the Police College Ground, Ikeja GRA, on December 26th, Boxing Day, from 10 a.m. Entry is free, because you don't have to pay to praise.
Praise in the city, give Jesus praise.
A Thanksgiving music festival powered by CC 1051 FM.
It's that time of the year to know the original owners of the jokes. Comedy Check-up with Baba the Baba is back again. It's season 3 recognition award. Come watch your favorite comedians live on stage featuring Baba the Baba, Shigilo, Mr. Makati, Odogu, Uwa Idahosa, MC Fred, MC Jimmy, Lele and many more. Music by Chikla, Zaza Boy, 250 GB, Saxon Noel, and the legendary Stella Moye. Date Sunday, 15th of December 2024. Time 4 p.m. Venue Zaneta Hall, Mudube House, 301 Ikorodu Road, beside Seventh Day Adventist Church by Maryland Bus Stop, Maryland. Ticket regular 5,000, VIP 20,000, bronze table 100,000, silver table 200,000, gold table 500,000. Tickets available at the venue or call 080-5237-6699. Media partner Super FM. Don't miss it.
Elevate your mind. Stimulate your senses. Plugged right in. 92.7 FM.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
92.7 Super FM.
You're listening to the Super Breakfast Show that gets your day started right here on Super 92.7 FM.
Welcome back. Still is Family Matters on Super FM 92.7. The Gifted Goddess and OSYB still in the building, talking family interference in marriages.
When is it too much?
How is it too much? Is it until, someone is pounding someone that is supposed to investigate and talk and maybe call something out or say something? And how much are you even supposed to talk about? And then, is it those little things that just causes things to go out of hand, or it's the actual big issues that people talk about? If your wife was tied to her father's strings, or your husband was tied to his mother's apron strings, or if it's the conversation around
lose in the name of Jesus. That's all I can say.
You can say
lose in the name of Jesus, because what is this? I know you love your mama so much, and yes, you love your daughter too.
You love your mama.
I love my mother too, but there's some conversations I want to tell her.
Your mama is a chief accounts officer.
No, the thing is just for the meantime. I mean, it's not something that I have been doing for a while.
How do you think? I always look at certain things, though. Our parents have a sentimental attachment to it. I have a daughter right now.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine when this young lady starts making money and she's like, Daddy, I want you to manage my finances.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, see how much she's making, and I'm loving it, and I'm loving it for her. And then there's one young man that comes into the picture. That he's fine, but he looks like me when I was younger, and he's like a player boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I was a player boy, that I was playing for Manchester United or Barcelona, but I'm just saying, I might have this reservation, and I'm trying to protect her and her finances from the boy.
Of course not, because I don't think that as a person you cannot make your decisions yourself. Your parents should trust that you are making the right decision.
Yeah,
and when they investigate and they find out that, okay, no, I've actually told my mom.
It's easier said than done.
Oh no, it's not.
It's easier said than done.
As a parent, I think that when you should. How do you send your kids off to university without maybe university in another country or universities outside Lagos or something, and you're in your house? You should know that I've given this child enough training to know right from wrong. Half the time
you are speaking in tongues and praying and calling unexpected.
Speak in tongues. Don't make it seem like, you want to have a hold on your child because of that. Nah.
It's
far from it.
Do you know there's a university that is, man then went to that university. It was that university, as at the time when I was growing up, that university was 13 naira bus stop. The bus ride was 13 naira from my house.
But you wanted to.
That's why my father wanted me to go. That's why
that is for some of your siblings went far.
The farthest was University of Lagos, Unilag.
No problem. At least they were far away from home. You people didn't want to have a stance. But there was no rebel in the family.
Where did you go to school?
Oh, I wanted to go to the north.
Where did you go to school?
I ended up.
Don't tell me what you wanted.
But guess what? I didn't go home until
mother strings.
No, that's not true.
Baby strings.
Oh, absolutely not. If there's somebody that is not even, if there's somebody in my family that is not attached to her mother's strings, it's me.
But you went to school in Lagos.
It's not by going to school in Lagos. Did you go to school in Lagos? Hang on.
I didn't go to school in Lagos.
Let me finish.
I went to school in Ondo State.
I remember vividly that my mother would call me and say, Auntie, your classmates that is not so far as come home. I say, Mommy, I'm still at school. I'm still in school. You will wait. When I'm ready to come back home, I will come back home. And she's like,
they didn't even used to call me, and I was in Ondo State.
No, me, I was told several times. Oh, I'm someone that after the loss of my dad. Oh, of course, I was attached to my mom for a long time because somebody that was going through loss and everything, and everyone was going through loss. I remember vividly that my mother would say, "My daughter, I feel stay for 2 whole months." I no go house. Weekend. Mommy,
Okay.
Mommy, I'm in school.
So
I'm
bringing
in
it
school.
to marriage now.
Bringing it to marriage, of course, she's going to have her, stance. Oh, this is what I'm thinking. But she should know for a fact that I can make my decisions by myself.
You will set those boundaries, though. You would have to
Oh,
set
of course,
those
from the
boundaries
get-go, because parents will usually want the best interest for their kids, of course. There's nobody that wouldn't want the best thing for their child. But the child has to say, okay, mommy, you train me to know right from wrong and understand myself a little more. I've been on this earth for quite some time, and I followed through with the family values, and I'm still upholding them.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to make this decision, you should give me that stance. Okay, I mean, you can't make a decision by
I was
yourself.
at the wedding on
So
Saturday.
it shouldn't be a
I
problem.
was at the wedding on Saturday, and the Alaga, big shout out to him. He said something it was a guy who was the Alaga. That's those people who do this, emceeing traditional weddings in Yoruba culture. Now, the thing is, he said something. He said, "Mommy, your daughter now, I'm sure you've cooked that soup." Because the Yorubas would usually do where they cook all different types of soup, and they tell you, "Yeah, take it to. Don't come back to take another one or to go to another man's house. You're going to this man's house. Don't, except you're coming to visit us to say hi. Don't come back for another one. We believe you are independent. You've come of age. You've seen this man. You chose him, and that level of release and freedom. Yes, of course, we want it to be in every marriage. But then, when we start to see that things are
going
not
bad.
working,
Exactly.
when we start to see that there's something chipping away at the life of this person whom we birthed, and we had hopes that they would have made a better decision at finding love, but then we found out that maybe the person pretended a bit.
Yeah.
How do we?
That pretense, I'll talk about it quickly.
Because that's that. Then you start seeing things that that you didn't expect to see. You start seeing some very, very interesting things.
So I'm going to give you a citation. There's a woman that I know her kid, also her daughter. I feel that she was constantly doting on her daughter so much to get a partner. This girl finally settles down with a guy that I'm like, okay, this is the person you're settling down with, but no one. I'm not even in the place or best position to decide a husband for you. And I had a conversation with her about it. And she's like, yeah, I love him, blah, blah, blah. Now, they leave Lagos and they move to his house. He supposes our house apparently is his family house. And they both sleep in the sitting room whilst her mother-in-law and her father-in-law sleeps in the room and siblings are around. It's like a family house. And I'm like, okay, she had to call me and say, Gift, I'm in the family house. I was like, did you not know that he had an apartment before now? He's still trying to get his feet together. I'm like, he's still trying to get his feet together, and you got married to this person. Guess what? She got pregnant. Her mother had to go there to drag her out of the house. So, I mean, in that case, do you think that the mother is right? Interference with family or from family members in your marriage. Do you think that she should have done that?
Proper research should have gone into the marriage in the first instance, where we're talking about finding love. There's a pastor said something a long time ago that I saw. He said, don't marry a jobless person.
Right.
And people were like, oh, fine. He said a jobless
He
person.
wasn't
Which
who he
means
said he was, by the way.
Yeah, regardless of whether this person is a male or female, don't marry them if they don't have what they're doing, if they don't have a roof over their heads. Because why should you get married? That's the first thing. There's not going to be that freedom. You're not living in a home. You're just living with another person's child inside another person's home. So a home within a home, you can't have. And one thing I always said is that you can't have two men. You can have two captains on the same ship.
So your father-in-law and you.
Yeah,
Baba.
you understand. It's not going to be a pretty conversation, and there will be so much interference. Now, this interference in the stages where, for instance, we have that it's a case of abuse. Interference might save the person's life.
Oh yes, it will.
It
Most
might.
times, it depends on if the person wants to take the interference.
You understand?
Because your parents can come and say, "Don't stay with this boy. Don't stay there. You need to leave." And you're like, "Mommy, I love him." Wow. Okay, I interfered, but you did not even think that I was wanting this for you. Good. Yeah.
So looking at the case that Dex called us about, Dex called us earlier on last week when we were talking gender-based violence and everything, and you know he said his sister was being hush-hush about it even while they were at his place.
Yes.
And at some points, the guy said, "You cannot talk to me and you cannot tell me anything."
I
Yes, we're in this place.
You're
I feel like you're her boyfriend. And you know, that kind of obscured the relationship and the whole conversation a bit. But I think that interference, when it's starting to bother on life, when it's starting to bother on, abuse and continuous, berating,
emotional blackmail
and whatsoever.
Or pretext.
I feel like it might be necessary that a family member steps in If you have that level of control, you have something that you can actually do to help this person, you can step in and
But on really
and
subtle
help.
issues like things happening within the home,
There will always be
issues-
arguments.
there will always be arguments. Why do you need to call your mom or your dad or your cousin or your sibling that, oh, I and my husband fought last night. So in fact, this is what happened. Kilo day. Why
Well,
you
when it's
mommy
just-
and
when
daddy?
when it's just an argument, sha, and it's not starting to devolve to physical
If
violence.
it's an argument, I feel like you both can sort yourselves out.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
adults. Have those uncomfortable conversations, no matter how hard it is. Yes, you may need to give the person a little space before then to, okay, you know what, we need to address the issue. You're not the problem. I'm not the problem. The problem is the problem. Can we attack the problem, please?
Say that again. You're not the problem.
I'm not the problem. You're not the problem. The problem is the problem. Can we attack the problem instead?
Yeah, because really sometimes we see a lot of things happening and people are just starting to go at each other's necks and they're trying to destroy.
You did this, you did this, you did
You understand?
this, yeah.
So let's talk about the problem. Let's solve the
Solve
problem.
the problem.
And then move on with ourselves. But then if there's no physical abuse, there is no, because a lot of people, that's silence around gender-based violence and physical abuse. When we start to see those things that, you know, and as a family member, where you're seeing something go wrong, and of course we always want to do this thing, because there was a time I noticed something about someone that I know, and I was like, should I talk to this person about the fact that this person is stepping out to do this? And in my mind I'm like, is that in the best interest of this marriage? But eventually I think I told someone who was way older, who had no interaction with the family that
relationship,
So when I told the person was like, you might need to talk to the person who is closest to you of the two. Tell them this is what you've noticed as a young person and that you hope everything is fine. And I took the hint. And I said, not to interfere in what's going on. I know that I'm just living with you guys as an offshoot of this, but how are you doing and this, that, and the person told me, oh, yeah, we're fine, that there's so much going on and that she might need to take a break after some time. And but I should just keep praying for them. That was what the wife told me. Because I didn't want to say anything to her sibling who told me, oh, can this person stay with you?
Okay,
Because
I
that would
see.
have been me bringing in the third party.
Yeah.
And this thing went on every other day. But eventually, I think they worked out their issues. And, you know, me knowing what I knew, and because I was thinking if I had gone to one of the family members or maybe the person that said, oh, can this person stay with you? And I said, this is what I see your sister and her husband go through. Or this is how this is what I'm experiencing.
I see.
You know, it may have, maybe the person would have called or maybe handled it poorly and they'll be like, oh, so it's because we even accepted someone to live with us and that's like an issue for me. So wisdom had to help me in that situation to understand that it was not a conversation that I was supposed to maybe take outside. I just had it with the wife and then she told me, just pray for us, please.
I mean, this is the conversation that we're having today. Extended families, interference from extended families. Do you think it's important? Do you think they should indulge themselves in having conversations with extended family? Or do you think couples need to have conversations with extended family when they have issues at home? When there's issues in the family? Do you need to talk to mom and dad about it?
Well, if maybe final notes here. If I'm in a situation where maybe I'm seeing my sister and her husband bicker and fight and whatsoever, and it's starting to get to the uncomfortable level, I would probably want to see with my sister and say, madam, this is your husband. I'm noticing this, and I don't want it to, can you guys work around
Put yourself
it?
together, yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. If it's a situation that I see that there's no violence and whatsoever, but if I am starting to see violence, bro, I will call the respected...
Olori Ebi.
I'll call my elder brother or elder sister and say, oh, this is what this person is going through. The husband, they give him this kind of
Yeah, because I
time
mean,
off.
of course you want your best,
Because
your sister's best interest.
life might be lost in that situation where there's violence and whatsoever. And that is where, you know, I think we can draw that line of, oh, we are getting involved and we're trying to bring higher powers and higher people who have had the experience and probably are being through the same thing to come and speak with them. But when it comes to just, then they argue money or just very conversations that they could settle themselves, I don't, maybe hands off. Probably even step out of the situation for the longest time and not be there while those things are happening, because couples would have disagreements and rearrangements over money, over spouses, and over people being around them. You understand? I think it's even you should even take the hint when you see that your siblings and whatsoever are arguing too much. As a family member, if you have sense, maybe that's the time you want to leave the house and tell them, there's this my friend I want to spend 3 weeks with.
Right.
And just leave the house for a bit so that they could have their time. That's just what I think.
I mean, I think the same, because when it comes to like really crazy situations, when it has to do with life, when it has interference, is important. Please, by the way, it's important.
Yeah,
Talk
might be
to-
necessary.
Might be very necessary to save a life. But when it's like the little things, or your mother coming to come and pick up your clothes, your mother sending food to you. I'm a child too. My mommy can send me food though. Can
So
we-
we're not.
you-
It's
have you
our
ever-
marriage.
Have you
It's our
seen
life
somebody
together.
that said the mother? It was a movie, Yoruba movies. See, you guys are doing the most, and I love it.
Leave
You
Yoruba
see-
movies alone.
Wait, so the mother sent food on the second day of marriage to the house. The guy said, mommy brought food. She brought food. Jaja, where's it now? So please, and then she sat down. When did mommy send in the next food? The guy don't look at her. I said, She said, this is what you want to start. The next day, he woke up in the morning, and there was no food. There was no food to be eaten. And he goes, where's the food now? You should have made breakfast now. What's going on? Say, I thought mommy will be sending us food every day now.
Oh wow.
I thought mommy will be sending us food now.
Oh, wow.
So she sent food yesterday. She was sent today, and she only sent lunch. She was sent breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Today we are starting a new day, so let her be sending the
Wow.
food. And the man took a cue from that and said, okay. You mean like say my wife don't they use style? They tell me say me my mama know they send me food.
Yes.
Or she
So
not send us
understanding
food.
the fact.
And I mean, she did that. It must have been funny to her. It was a funny way to tell him that, brah, tell your mother to back off.
Well, family members, friends, brothers, sisters,
We love you guys.
we love you. But
Interference, minimalize it.
except it is entirely necessary. But even when you have to talk about it, wisdom is profitable to
Cross
direct.
interference, uncle. Where are you going to report me to my mommy? I don't understand.
Where-
I'm on nursery too, me.
we will pick that up. We will pick that cross interference up. But then, of
That
course,
is even wilder.
yeah. But I think it's as much control and access as we give our in-laws.
That
And-
they take.
But then, if you're entering into a marriage and you're doing spousal life for the longest time, the onus is on you as a man and as a woman to set the boundaries for your family members. Your husband doesn't have to be the one to
True.
set the boundaries for
For-
your own family.
Exactly. Let
as
him
the
set the
wife.
boundary for
his
his
own
family.
And then everybody is fine. You don't have to seem like you've insulted someone when you didn't do that. We'll be going on a quick break right now. Of course, we'll be coming back with the What's Good Nollywood
What's good,
conversation.
Nollywood?
She started the conversation early by referencing the Yoruba movie. Maybe we will reference some other movies in What's
We
Good
will.
Nollywood.
Go nowhere. We'll be right back.